Hi, welcome to Sri Software Solution. In this session, we are going to learn about interface. What is interface? Interface is equal to abstract class. It is more than 100% secure. Using implements keyword, we need to access the interface code. Whatever we written inside the interface, using implements keyword, we need to access the code to the class. Okay, so how to create the interface, we'll see that. Syntax for interface. Here I created the interface name calculation, curly bracket opening closing, like that I return. And inside that I declare the variable with the value. Okay, int a equal to 25. So with the value we need to declare the variable, not without value. But in last session, in abstract class, we declare the variable using with value and without value. Both it will execute there. But here we need to assign the value by default only whenever we are going to declare the variable declaration. Okay. And by default only we are having a final keyword. So it used to check whether the value is assigned for that variable or not. If you are not assigned the value, it will display the error message here. Okay. And as well as we can write the function declaration. Okay, so here get value without abstract I return, and calc with abstract I return here. So here it is an optional, if you need you can write it. Okay, but in abstract class mandatorily we need to write the abstract keyword in a function declaration. But here if you declare the function declaration, it is optional. If you need you can write the abstract keyword. By default only we are having a abstract keyword in your function declaration. Okay, like this way we need to declare the function declaration. Okay, only this two we can write it in interface. Okay, but right now we are using Java 8. From Java 8 version we can start write the function definitions also. Okay, using static or default keyword. Like this way we need to write the function definition. Without static or default keyword, if you are trying to write the definition, interface will not allow you to write the definitions in a normal format. Okay, like public void show, like that if you are writing now, it will display the error message there. Okay, so we have to write it like this way only. And how to implement this interface in our class? Here I created the addition class. I implemented the calculation interface. And once I implemented, we need to write the function definition mandatorily. And while we writing the function definition, we are not supposed to write the abstract keyword in that. Okay, like this way we need to write the syntax for the classes. While we using the implements keyword, we can derive this interface feature in our class. Okay, and we are not supposed to overwrite. Mandatorily we need to write this. And in the same way, if we need to use the same interface to another class also, we can write it. Okay, like this way we need to write the syntax for the interface. Okay, and here I created only one interface. And if suppose you are going to create a more than an interface, okay, in that time we can extend that one interface to another interface, we can extend it. Okay, in practical session I will do it, that one. Okay, I will tell you that one also, how we are deriving the class from one class to another class. In the same way here, from one interface to another interface we can use the extends keyword to inherit. Okay, like that way also we can write it. And what is the difference between an abstract class and interface? And here we are having function definition, declaration, and a variable. declaration, everything we are having, but variable declaration without value we are not supposed to declare it here, and as well as no constructor. Okay, and here we are not supposed to create the constructor, but in class we can create the constructor. And from JDK 8 we are starting to write the function definition using static or default keyword. Okay, now the more or less everything is same, but no constructor. Okay, without value we are not supposed to declare the variable. Only this two changes we are having while we comparing with the interface and abstract class. Okay, so now you understand the syntax. We'll start writing the coding for this. Yes, we'll do the practical session. Okay, first we will open the IDE. It's loading. Now we will create the interface project. This is interface, so I'm going to give the project name as an interface program. Like that, I will give the project name. Just click finish. Okay, and in SRC, we have to create the interface. Here it is interface. Select that option and give the interface name as a calculation. Again, we are going to store the file inside the com.stream package. Okay, so like that I created one file. Now here I'm going to declare the variables. I already told you, no? So we need to declare the variable with value in interface. Without value it won't support. See, for example, FNO. If I write like this, it will display the error message. If you assign the first number value by defaultly like this now, it won't display the error. And as well as here, the final keyword is defaultly available inside the interface. Okay, like this way we need to write it. And we can write the function declarations also. Okay, so how to write the function declaration? This is a calculation form. So we'll use get value like this function declaration. And as well as I'm going to create a one more function declaration, abstract void calc value. So two function declaration I'm having, get value and calc value. Okay, and from JDK 8 we can write the function definition. Okay, we can write the function definition. Okay, using default or static keyword. Okay, so how to write we'll see. First we'll write the default function. Okay, so default void, I'm going to give the name for this is a first function, right? Function definition. So we'll give start process. Okay, like that I will create it. And here system.out.println within double quotation process started. Okay, and then if you need write the static function like this, end process. Okay, like this we will write it. And here system.out.println within a parenthesis double quotation process completed. Okay, like this we can write it. Okay, so now we created the interface and we need to access this interface in our class. So for that I'm going to create a class just right click and go to the class and add the class here. And my first class I'm going to give class 1. Okay, so class 1, and in the same way you can create, how many class you need you can create it. So I'm creating 2 classes. Okay, class 1 and class 2, and this class 1 I'm going to implement that interface. Okay, so what is my interface name? Implements. Interface name is calculation. Okay, so if I implement here, it will display the error message, right? So how to clear this? Whatever the declarations we declared here, we need to write the function definition in our class. Okay, so that is mandatorily we have to write it. So once you click that implement, it will display the, it will automatically generate the function definition in our class. Okay, so while we're writing the function definition, see, I'm not having the abstract keyword. Okay, but while we declare the function declaration here in interface, it is optional. If you need, you can write it. See, I created 2 functions declaration here. In one function I'm having abstract keyword, and another one I'm not having an abstract keyword. It is optional here, but in abstract class mandatorily we need to write the abstract keyword in function declaration. Okay, and whatever the other code you need inside that, we can write it. We will write it later, and we will complete this one also. Okay, so how to write it here? We need to implements, interface name is calculation. Okay, again here we are getting an error. We have to add unimplemented method. Okay, so this one we have to add it. That's it. Okay, now in this class I'm going to declare the variable. Whatever the variables you need, okay, you can declare it. And in get value, if you need to get the runtime input also, you can collect, but I'm going to assign the value here, and c equal to a plus b. Okay, and using system dot out dot print ln. Here this is a sum, right? So sum of two number, like that we can write it, and then plus c. That's it. Okay, so now see, in this class I'm not used this first number. I declare the first number we here, but here I'm not used in this class. If you need, you can use it, otherwise that one is optional. But while we move on to the class 2, here I need a first number. Okay, so how to access it, we'll see that. Before that I need to write one more second number variable, right? And I need to write the result also, right? Okay, so like this I can declare it, and for first number I'm having a value there. For second number I'm going to give the value here. Okay, and for the calculation I'm having a result variable here, result equal to f and o into s and o. Okay, and here I'm getting the multiple of 2 number, right? So we'll write system dot out dot print ln multiple of 2 number. Okay, and that will be stored in a result variable, so I'm going to call the result variable. Okay, so here I used first number, but in this class it is optional. If you need, you can write it, otherwise you can declare your own variable whatever you need, and will write the program. It won't display any error. Okay, but whatever the declarations we declared, we have to write that definitions in our class mandatorily. Okay, here also I returned. Okay, now everything is finished, and we need a main function for execute this program, right? So we'll create the main function. We'll create our own class. Main function class name is program. Okay, and automatically I need to generate the main function, so I'm going to check this checkbox, click finish. That's it. Okay, now here I already told you, no, we will create the object for the concrete class and reference class. In abstract class I told you, no, Like that way I'm going to create the object. Otherwise, if you need to create the object for the class 1 and the class 2 separately using hoops concept, normal classes and object we created now, in that time in that format, if you need to create now, you can create it. Otherwise, you can create the object for the interface to class, that is concrete and a reference. Here I'm going to create it like that way only. So we'll see the object, how to create it. Calculation obj equal to new. Which class I need to call here? Class 1 or class 2? Class 1. Okay, so we'll select class 1. Okay, that is a reference. Okay, now using that object, first we need to call, see, this is a starting process started, this one I need to print it. Okay, so that is that function is a default function, right? So how to call that default function through the main function now? Using object we can call. See, I'm having a default function or not here? No, it's not coming. If I used calculate dot end process is coming here. Okay, and we need to call that default function is not coming here. So we'll create a public default. Okay, and here if I try to access, sorry, what is that function name? Start process, right? Like this we can write it. Start and end. In between, we need to call that other function, right? Get value and as well as obj dot calc value. That's it. Okay, and we need a static block for this. We'll write one static block for the heading purpose. So what is the concept here? We did system dot out dot println, within a parenthesis double quotation, welcome to interface program. Okay, that's it. Okay, now everything is finished. Main function, okay, and interface, and we implemented that interface in class 1 and class 2. In the same way, you can create a multiple classes also here. Okay, just we'll run and see the output for this. See, it's printing addition of two numbers, sum is 12, like that. Okay, now if I need to access class 2, just only changes here we need to change it. Okay, so we'll run it again. Select the total. Okay, so multiple of 2 number, so that value is printing. And see, I'm having a default and as well as static block also. Process started, process end, completed. Okay, and in between we are having this concept. We fixed the value in get value, so it's not getting the input. And if you are going to get the runtime input, you can use scanner class to get the runtime input. That one you can do it here. Okay, so like this way we can create the interface. Okay, now we understand this concept. Okay, now I'm going to create one more interface. Okay, so how to write it? See, here I'm going to create a one more interface. This is base interface. Like that I'm going to give the name base interface. Okay, in base interface I'm going to write one function declaration. Okay, so here we'll give the name as heading line. Okay, so if you need to write abstract keyword also, we can write it, or this one is optional. Okay, heading line, like that I created one declaration. Okay, now this is a base interface. I'm going to derive this base interface to calculation. Okay, so how to write it here? We need to write extends keyword, extends base interface. Okay, so now whatever the concept we are having here, okay, that can be implemented in this interface also. Okay, now we are deriving from one interface to another interface. Okay, and here see, immediately it will display the class 1 and the class 2 error. Okay, so how to avoid this? We have to write the definition for this heading line. Okay, so in this class, see, I'm going to implement that method here. Okay, heading line like that. So now class 1 error is gone, but I'm not going to write any definitions in this function. Okay, so I'm going to write the definition in class 2. Okay, so see, I'm added, and here I'm writing on definition. Q like that. Okay, so I need to call this function definition in our main function, then only the process will execute, right? So you can call that function definition heading line. That's it. See, now I used class 2, no? So when I run this, the class 2 process, it display the thank you message. If it is class 1, see, so that function definition, we didn't written anything, right? So it won't display any output from that line. Okay, so if you need, we can write the definition. Otherwise, we need to write the empty function alone here. Like this way. We can inherit from base interface to a sub interface like this way using extends keyword. Okay. Okay, now you understand this concept, right? Base interface to sub interface, how to extend the one interface to another interface, and how to access that interface in our class and everything, right? Now I will show you some demo, just a syntax. Okay, you just write this one. Okay, and see, uh, here this base interface right now we created, and as well as I inherit that interface in our calculation. Okay, so here I'm having a and b declaration, function declaration, and if I'm going to implement the calculation here now, we need to write a and b definition in this class 1 and as well as class 2. Like this way only I give the demo program. Okay, so if you understand this concept and you can implement this kind of interfaces in another way, see, I'm having an interface, base interface, and as well as calc interface. This is a separate one. Okay, base interface and a calc interface. Okay, and here I created a class 1. In class 1, I implemented the base and as well as calculation. I'm not inherit this one, but I used a comma to access that both interface in this class 1. In that time, we need to write the definition for A and B. Okay, A and B declaration, we need to write the definitions in class 1. Okay, and after that, we need to create the object for the class 1, you can able to access it. This is another model, you just try it. And as well as here, I created class 2. Same way I implemented base and as well as calc, and I returned the definition for A and B. Okay. In the same way, you have to create the object for the class 2 and you can able to access it. Okay. So, like this way, class 1, class 2 I created. In this way, you can create a class 3, 4, 5, like that. N number of classes you can create. And here we can use comma. When we are using comma here, if I'm not inherit the two interface, in that time I can use comma. Okay, So this is another way. You just do it in a practical session and try it. Okay, and as well as I'm having another format. See, I'm having one interface, and that interface is implemented extend with the calculation. Okay, so here I created class 1. Okay, and as well as class 2. This is single level inheritance. Class 1 is extend with the class 2. Okay, so now using class 2 we need to create the object to access all the function. Okay, and here I implemented the calculation. Okay, so I called only the calculation. If I call the calculation, it's automatically extend with the base. So don't worry about the base. No need to use comma and all. Okay, directly we can use the calculation interface to implement this A and B method. Okay, and see, when I use this A and B method definition in our class, I'm not returned A and B in class 2. See, I splitted that function definition. In A definition I return in class 1, and as well as B definition I return in class 2. Any one of the class we need to write it. Why? Because this class is inherited, right? Okay, it's not mandatory to write both the function declaration in single class, in class 1 and class 2. Okay, we need to use it, but you can use in any classes wherever you need. Okay, and for this kind of concept you need to create the object for the class 2. Using that class 2 we can able to access it. Why? Because this is a single level inheritance, and class 1 is a base and class 2 is a sub. Okay, this is another scenario. Like this way also we can write the program, and you just write this concept. Okay, and similarly I'm having one more interface syntax. Interface separately I created, I didn't inherit, and here I'm using single level inheritance, and as well as I created the class 1 syntax and as well as class 2 syntax. Okay, class 2 syntax, and here I extend the class 1. It's a single level inheritance, and I implemented the base and as well as sub interfaces using comma. Okay, and in that time we can write same A and B. Any one of the class we need to write the definition. We are not supposed to override. Okay, so that is a concept. Like this way we have to write it, and in that time we need to create the object for the class 2, not for the class 1. Okay, so this is the another syntax, and try this all the syntax, and you'll be getting more knowledge in interface. Okay, thanks for watching.